On this episode of Pimp My Setup, we're going to be talking about your setups you submitted for tips, tricks, feedback, and much more. So if you're interested in that, then sit back, relax, and interact because the show starts
now. Yeah.
It's time for the original setup show dedicated to providing you with tips, tricks, and feedback to pimp out your setup. Hosted by Matt Philly with new special guests every week. Coming at you live in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Pimp My Setup, episode number 32, recorded live on April 3rd, 2015. My name is Matt Philly. You can check me out on Twitter at Matt Philly.
And I am Kyle. I run a YouTube channel called Awesome Sauce Network. You can go ahead and look me up and subscribe if you like the content that I do there. I do a lot of PC DIY type stuff, a lot of tech related material. So if you like computer building, or if you just like the occasional sketch comedy video that involves tech, go ahead and check me out. Also on Twitter, my handle is @ForeverAKyle.
Boom.
Because yeah.
And what's the story behind that?
The Twitter handle?
Yeah.
I'm literally just really bad at thinking up names. Like I consider myself a creative person when it comes to something like naming or giving something a name or an identity. I'm terrible at it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, let's make it personal. I should probably put my name in there. Yeah. What about my name? Well, it doesn't really change much. Like that was my creative process for thinking of my Twitter handle. I was like, whatever. And Awesome Sauce Network was too long, so I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
At least you have a Twitter handle, right? That's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah. Sure. Whatever.
All right, so let's talk about setups. And actually, before we do, I should probably mention, if you want to know when I'm going to be live, I send text alerts thanks to txtsignal.com. Just text the word live to 94033, and that's how it works. So here we go. Let's go to the first setup. First setup is submitted by Martian Nerd Attack. I hope that's not your legal name. I don't know if it could be.
At least that wasn't my Twitter handle, right? Come on.
Exactly. So anyways, he is 16, and he just wants to know what to do. He says he knows that the wires aren't the best underneath, but he wants to know what we think. So I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna hand you the mic, and I'm gonna let you tell us what you think.
Well, unlike you, Matt, I will not be nice. This is a terrible looking setup. No, I mean, it definitely is far from perfect, but I've seen worse. I'll be honest. The first thing that stands out to me are the cables that lead from the desk itself to this upper shelf that he's got up top.
Yeah.
It's very distracting. It actually, by having wires like that, it kind of forces your eyes to follow them and to see where they're going. And that kind of takes away from looking at the actual desk and the entire setup overall. So I see that some of those wires are going to a subwoofer that he's got up there. And I don't know. I think maybe he should put the subwoofer on the bottom, like on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
That way it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, as well as the cabling doesn't have to go up there to this upper shelf and kind of look really just kind of cluttered and messy. Even though he did a good job zip tying them together, I still think having them not against that blank white wall would probably be for the best.
Yeah.
The other thing that stood out to me is that he needs to ditch that chair, man. I mean, I know he's 16. He probably, takes him a while to save up for a nice chair, but that thing looks like it would give me scoliosis, like within 24 hours of use. It just looks really, really cheap and uncomfortable. I mean, at least get something with the armrest. Some armrest would be nice. But he's got some space there on the desk. He could probably afford to get a slightly larger chair that has a bit more cushion and padding, and really kind of allow him to game and whatever he does at his desk for longer periods of time more comfortably. Apart from that, I'm not sure what the laptop is doing there off to the left. It looks kind of out of place. It's also making me wonder if that's why his monitor is kind of shifted off to the right side a little bit instead of being completely centered if he's trying to make room for his laptop. But honestly, I don't see why he would need to put the laptop there. I think if he could find a better spot for that, because obviously he's probably not using it every day all the time.
Yeah.
So I think he's definitely got some real estate to work with on his desk. So I'd like to see that more utilized with a dedicated spot for his laptop elsewhere. Also, again, being a 16-year-old kid, I know it's hard to save up to buy nicer things, but I would probably invest in a nicer monitor. I can't really tell, scale and stuff, how large that monitor is, but I don't even know if it's 1080, but getting a nicer 1080 panel with maybe some I don't know, a nicer looking bezel. I mean, if this is really Pimp My Setup, you kind of want everything to look nice.
Yeah.
And I think just a black monitor would make the whole setup kind of come together because he's got the black speakers with the tablet and the tablet stand. So I think having a black monitor would also just kind of suit things a little bit more nicely. Apart from that, I think cable management at the bottom, of course, could be improved a bit. He needs to empty out his trash can. I'm sure his mom has told him so many times to do that. And he should just do it. Listen to your mother. But those are my initial thoughts. I think maybe in the future, later down the line, consider doing a paint job on the walls. I know there's, kind of got this brown on the right and white in the back. Maybe meshing those two together, or like choosing one or the other. Maybe go all brown or all white, or just at least touching them up and maybe getting some, a new desk in the future to actually match a little bit nicer. Especially the chair. The chair being blue doesn't match at all. But he's like, again, everything is so subjective because he's a 16-year-old, and I know, like, I wouldn't be able to paint my room. Like, my mom would be like, "I will kill you if you mess with the walls." Like bitch smack, hands down. So hopefully maybe later on in the future when he's older, he can change something about that. But hopefully also in the future when he's old enough to do something like that, he'll be out of his parents' house. So there's that too. But those are my thoughts, my initial thoughts. What did you think, Matt?
Well, looking at it, I mean, for the most part, I basically agreed with everything you had to say. Like the shelf scares me having the subwoofer up there, but like, I see what you're going for with the shelf, and as you like basically mentioned with the furniture, the coloring just doesn't work. Like if everything was black, that shelf, the desk, I mean, it would change the whole setup, especially with the new display, things like that. But I do agree for the size of the desk, your placement of everything is so weird. Why do you push yourself to that right side with everything over there and so far away? It just doesn't seem right. Like, use the center of the desk, and then put the iPad or whatever to the side. Keep it, I don't know. I think I just like everything being like exactly in the center. It just makes sense. If you have two displays, then sure, do it however you want. But with one, put it in the center. It just looks out of place. Doesn't make sense. I mean, sure, the wires are bad. You're aware. The shelving, it's not going to work having those cables go up. No matter what you do, it just looks terrible. It's not going to look good. But I do agree that the chair looks painful. It looks like his legs are making like an impression into the somewhat of a cushion that exists. But yeah, the color of the walls too just really confuses me. Like, I guess it would be your parents. Like, who thought that would be a good wall color? It just it just doesn't look right. I mean, I don't know if you were smearing poop on the wall when you were younger and this was just a way to cover it up and all in one shot, but yeah, I mean, there's not too much to say other than what Kyle already touched on. But I think if you took both of our critiques, put it together when you got the money, you could really make the setup nice because you have the room for it. So you might as well make use of it. But yeah, so I mean, other than that, I don't really have anything else to say. Do you have any other closing thoughts on the setup?
No, I mean, like, just kind of building on what you said, I think the shelf thing is odd and a bit concerning with the subwoofer up there. I didn't even think about like the structural integrity of it. Having that big subwoofer up there could theoretically pose some kind of threat if there's an earthquake or whatever, or if it's just a shitty shelf and the thing's too damn heavy and it all comes crumbling down on you, ruining your crappy laptop that shouldn't be there in the first place. But honestly, I think the shelf could work. I think he just needs to put the right things on top of it.
Yeah.
Like he's got the little figurines like by his monitor and by his right speaker and stuff. I think that might be something that he could easily put up on the shelf where it's super lightweight and it's more of kind of just that's like the shelf is like for the flair, right?
Yeah.
Because everything that's functional that you're using daily should be directly in front of you within arm's reach. Anything that's further away from that should be something that you rarely use or don't use at all. So maybe doing a little bit of flashiness with the building his figurine collection up there or whatever, replacing it with those iPad boxes or whatever those boxes are, the retail boxes, and your trophy. I know you're probably proud of your trophy. You can leave the trophy there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't know if this is true or not, but I can't zoom in either. I mean, unless you feel the need to zoom in. People are saying by the laptop that's either toenail clippings or it's chips. But I'm thinking maybe it's just like scratches in the desk, but I'm really hoping it's not toenail clippings.
I'm zooming in and it totally looks like human feces. So I'm going to go with human feces. No, it looks like it's chipped. It just looks like, there's some wear and tear there.
Yeah.
And, even if, I don't know how you would get away from that if you were stuck with this desk for a long period of time. but maybe getting like one of those really extra large, like full desk mouse pads,
Yeah.
you know, that look really nice, could maybe cover that up, and it just wouldn't look so bad, because then people wouldn't be like staring at it. It's
Yeah.
obviously very distracting, as indicated by the chat and stuff. But
Or
or just slide the, if you're gonna have the laptop there, just move it back like a few inches, man.
exactly.
Just a few inches to cover it up.
That, or I mean, you can even get those, like they have those furniture markers. You just color it in. You can do that.
Yes.
That's an option. But yeah, let's go to the next setup.
Sure.
Switch it up a bit. This one is submitted by Besher. Yeah, let's just go with Besher. I don't know how to say his name.
That's my new Twitter handle coming at you.
That's the unique one right there. But this, here, let's do this. Kyle, how old do you think Besher is?
Well, judging from the fact that this is taken within a prison cell, I would probably have to say 35 to 50.
Besher is 12 years old, not in prison.
Okay.
Not in
wow,
prison.
he's done some hard shit in his time. He's already in a cell, man.
But other than the actual room, the setup compared to the last one is such a dramatic change. I mean, look at the cable management. The one thing that really pisses me off about this photo is all he had to do was get rid of those headphones for the picture. It would make,
I know.
like, I don't know. It really pisses me off. But taking a look at it, what do you have to say?
All right. So yeah, that was actually my first comment. Well, my first comment was, why is this taken? This looks like it's just in a prison cell. I mean, it really does. There's like nothing around on the walls or any kind of like flare or decor to indicate that it's not a prison cell. So when I first thought about it, I was like, all right, so he gets a 0 on theme, unless his theme is prison cell. Then
then he
10.
nailed it. Yeah,
nailed it. But I mean, it just looks very like, it looks like he just moved into this place like that day, and like all he had time to do was set up his little desktop area, but nothing else. I mean, I don't know what the rest of the room looks like, but I think there needs to be something else to just kind of make it feel a bit more homey, and to make it feel more personable, because right now it doesn't really have too much character or personality. And I would like to see that come through. You're 12-year-old, you've got things that you're into, fan fiction stuff that you're in, or movies that you love. I'd love to see some posters, or I want this to feel like a 12-year-old setup, like a kick-ass 12-year-old setup. You know what I mean? So apart from that, I was a little concerned about the door that's swinging open right next to where he might be sitting. So I was like, all right, do people just knock you on your ass every time they come into your room, or what's going on here? I mean, he's 12, so he's much smaller than either of us, hopefully. But I still don't know if that's like the most ideal location. And, forced perspective type thing. I'm not sure exactly how much room or distance there is between that swinging door and his desk. But that's something to consider as well. The earbuds gotta go, man. I mean, I don't care if it's because you're taking a picture to send into a show like this, or if it's just a daily thing where it's just you there. It's just really messy. And it would just kind of like migrate all over my desk, because it didn't have a dedicated home. So, I mean, it's the same thing with the earbuds, and even more so. And earbuds are a little bit more tricky in one sense, to actually have like a wall, like an on-wall hook for them or something, because they're earbuds and they would still look messy on the wall. But I really want to say, I don't like that router there. I think having the router somewhere else where it's not visible, or just not taking up some of his desk space. So this is what I would do. I would invest in like, even, a budget desktop speaker setup, maybe a 2.1 system, and have a speaker on the left and right and a subwoofer on the bottom, and ditch the router. Find another place for the router, because it doesn't need to be on your desk. It's not one of those things you actually need to physically interact with. I mean, it is Wi-Fi after all. Or if you've got your Ethernet cable, you don't really need to. Their keyboard, that looks like a $5 membrane keyboard that I used to have 10 years ago. Try and upgrade that. Save up your allowance money, mow some lawns, whatever you have to do, and get a nice, a cheaper mechanical keyboard, an affordable one at least. It really improve your day-to-day performance, at least for me.
Pokemon, all that. I was flashing it all over the place, and you don't seem to have any interest at all. You just seem like a very boring 12-year-old. So show off that you're actually a kid. You're not a robot. Because I don't know, with a name like that, you could be a robot. So I don't know. You basically hit everything.
Yeah, that's a questionable name. I thought it was a CAPTCHA at first.
Yeah, good thing it wasn't like all over the place and like smeared across the screen. Otherwise, it would have been. But yeah, I mean the door, things like that. And actually, one thing I wanted to say is it's not even why are you in the corner if you have
degrees and put it against the right wall to see if it would fit, before the door, because then he wouldn't be, interrupted by the door swinging open at all.
Yeah.
I mean, technically. And did you happen to catch where his PC is?
It's a laptop and.
Okay.
I don't think there's a picture of it, but he said that it's stored to the desk, which whatever that means. If that means in the drawer or mounted to the desk, I don't know, but it's not in sight, so kudos.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, unless if you ever want to use the laptop, you're screwed. But
yeah, of course.
turning
it on's a bitch.
Yeah.
All thought out with the black with the red accents on virtually everything on in the setup.
Yeah.
He's even got the desktop background to match that. And I thought, this is really well thought out, and I really like the wall mount. I think the cable management. I think it's probably just the angle of the picture that he took, but it kind of makes me cringe a little bit to see them all kind of just frayed, on that side. I think maybe just taking some twist ties or something like that, and cabling them up so that it's just one long strand would look a bit nicer, because it is that second monitor sticking out quite a bit, so people in the room could probably still see those cables fairly easily from that side of the desk that he does later on. I like the Yeti there. At first I was like, oh, is that too close to the case or is it not? But then I was like, well, there's no real practical place to put it to the left of the keyboard because the monitor's kind of in the way. So I was like, okay, I can forgive that. And it's still relatively accessible as far as his computer. His desktop's still relatively accessible, so that if he needed to plug something in or take something out from behind his system, it's relatively easy to do so because he does have a bit of space between his desktop and his right monitor. And again, having a wall mounted monitor is so key to. Is a really great way to tidy up your whole setup, because you can kind of just maneuver it anywhere you want, and if the cable management is right, you can really make it look very, very tidy and clean. I do think that he should really have a place for his headphones. As I was talking earlier, you can see it right there. It's straight onto his keyboard. Like, there's a problem when that's the best place you can think of to put your headphones is right on your keyboard.
Yeah.
He needs them underneath would be pretty functional and really tidy it up. But I mean, it could also be that he just wanted to show off his headphones and say look, these match too. So I don't know, maybe for all I know he's got a hook under there, but if he doesn't, something to consider. And I even like how the webcam has like little red strips on LED strips behind my monitors before, but never behind my desk. And I think this kind of really having it behind your desk the whole length kind of encompasses your entire setup instead of just being behind your monitor, which is just one aspect of it. So I think that really brings it together as well. But all in all, I think I really do love this setup. Yeah. Well done.
That's how I have. You can get one that you can still get the shock mount for the Yeti, but that thing is huge. It's just not practical. You can get, even a microphone like mine or an Audio Technica or something mounted to the desk on a swing arm, a scissor arm, and you can just have it come right out in front of you, push it away when you don't need it. Something like that could work. Or I see a lot of people do it over top of their monitor, like a condenser that could pick up all the sound, but it's just chilling over the top. So that's something I would recommend. I would love to see something above the monitors that, has that red or that black into it, because it just looks a little bare above. I don't know what the whole room looks like, though, so I can't really comment on that. And then I was expecting a little more out of the keyboard, too. I was expecting, something that's just glowing red. Just
true, yeah.
Something insane, and I was a little upset with that. But, I mean, because everything is red. I was even expecting his Yeti to be custom painted, to have, red all over it. I don't know. I was a little disappointed with that, too. But, I mean, at this point, I'm just nitpicking because it's there. I see a little...
I totally agree with you. That's those are all very good points.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's really about it. I think we nailed it on the head there. But this next one... Yeah, this next one. This next one is submitted by Hamad. Yeah. We'll go with Hamad. Hamad is also 16, and yeah. So taking a look here, I mean, you want to talk about cable management on point? This is it. He decided to plug things in and just let it sit because he's a boss. He doesn't care what people think, you know? So I gave him a 10 on why.
Really good stand, so I couldn't adjust it. So I would just literally take a couple books and put them underneath. And the problem with that was that the books obviously aren't intended for that sort of thing. So they would be like sliding around my desk from time to time, and I'd always have to find myself like repositioning it. And on top of that, it just looked terrible.
Yeah.
My advice to him would be find a nicer book at least. Don't get the SAT book.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not gonna impress any girls that come over to your place like, oh, SAT, huh? Did you get a 1600 or whatever the score is? I think just getting something better to utilize as a little prop for your monitor would be a great suggestion. Also, that chair is way too big for that desk. I don't even know how you would begin to like fit it within those little confines. It's just such a small corner, but yet everything's so disproportional with the chair being huge. You know, this guy needs the crappy blue chair that we saw in the first picture.
Yeah.
You know, for this kind of setup.
Swap
And
it
I mean,
out.
look at the mouse pad. The mouse pad's so sad. It's just drooping over the side of the table. It looks
Why
like
even have
everything's
one?
just collapsing. It looks like that fucking melting clock painting thing. You know. What the fuck? And then I don't know. There's so many things wrong with this. It's just out of whack, right? I mean, this nice space on top of his unit, but then all he has right in the middle is this tiny little skull. Like, get him some little skull friends to fill it. You know what I mean? It's so empty, but he's got so much potential here with this setup. So get a small, maybe get a bigger desk in general, because I really don't like the desk being there where it is. You know, on top of his entertainment center, which seems like the TV section. This is the console area where you play your console, your Xbox and shit. But the corner should be reserved for the desktop stuff. So I think maybe getting a bigger corner that extends out to the left along that left wall and having your desktop on that table, because you definitely don't want the desktop on the ground. But just pulling the desktop away from the TV area, I think would be a good call. And that would also allow you to maybe continue using that chair. No, get a smaller chair. That chair is awful and I hate it. And, you know, because even if he had more room at his desk, the chair is still, at that size, is going to be in the way of your TV. So if, for example, someone wanted to watch TV, but you were at your desktop in that chair, the desk, it's like eclipsing the entire TV. The freaking, you know, the back of your chair is so massive. Yeah. On top of that, I think the cabling is epic, disastrous. I mean...
Fast. We're not even going to go in depth on this one. We're just going to quickly look at it, throw up all over our screens, and then we're just going to, I mean, look at this. You guys want to know how to get, I literally, when I originally scored this, I gave it a negative like 9,999 or whatever. I mean, this is just painful. And this one also, so much potential just ruined. I mean, who puts iTunes gift cards taped to their wall? Like, do you see that? I mean, like GameStop gift cards. Like, why are you still going to GameStop? I mean, what is going on in this photo? Because I have no idea.
How old is the person who sent you this?
Oh shit! I feel bad because they're 12.
Oh, they're 12. Okay.
But still,
iTunes. Come on. Even 12-year-olds these days are like, fuck iTunes, man. That shit's old. Shit sucks, man.
But seriously,
getting on Steam. Yeah.
I mean, just look at this. I mean, the speakers are behind the displays. I mean, just everything is just on your desk. And if it's not on your desk, it's on your floor. And if it's not on your floor, it's on the wall.
The PC being on the floor is not okay.
Yeah. And it's carpet.
It's never okay, especially when it's carpet, especially when it's right next to your feet. It just it's cringeworthy to me. Seeing the little system down there, that poor little system. It gets hotter, it gets significantly more dusty at an alarming rate. You know, you got to clean it out ever so often, a lot more frequently, which I'm sure he's not doing. And not to mention all the cable mess down there. And why is there a speaker down there on the floor? Is that a speaker?
I think
does he have ears on his feet? Why is there a speaker down there?
You don't know. He could.
Yeah, don't judge me, bro.
Yeah, seriously, you're jumping the gun there.
I mean, at least a subwoofer maybe, but I don't know why the speaker's there. I don't know. Yeah, like you said, the two speakers that are on his desk are behind the monitors.
Yeah,
which is just not cool either. He's got N64 games off to the left with like a laptop setup. Like, clean that shit up. I don't know. And then he's got this. Did you see this? Like, by the right speaker on his desk, you see that little controller? Isn't that an RGB LED strip controller?
Yeah, actually,
I think it's a controller for like an RGB LED strip. So what I thought when I saw that was like, all right, I'm a firm believer in only having the essentials on your desk. So unless you're using it every day, all the time, it shouldn't be there. So what kind of scenario do you have to be in where you're constantly changing the colors of your LED strip wherever it is in your house? Like, do you wake up in the morning and go, what kind of mood am I in today? I think it's teal day. And then you switch it over to teal. Like, you don't need it there, like next to your mouse, like put it somewhere else. I don't know. There's so many things wrong with this, but like you said, I don't want to expand and
yeah. I think he's actually here in the chat. He said, I will fix it all. No, you won't. Why would you even? Fired. Yeah, why would you even send this photo? If you've ever seen my show, you should be ashamed of yourself. I mean, this is just painful. It literally looks like your cables just vomited all over the place, and for that, I am disappointed. But that's why we're not going to give you spotlight. And by the way, I feel even worse because he says that Barnacules inspired him. Well, I'm pretty sure Barnacules' setup does not look like this. So
I'm pretty sure Barnacules has a tutorial on cable management for your desk. So if you really want to be inspired by him, go watch that video.
Yeah, jerry rigged. Let's start there. That's and then you can come back and talk to us. But now let's go to the next setup. This one's also kind of like, I don't know. This is a painful episode. His name is Peter. He's 17, and Peter, what are you doing, man? I mean, this is just painful. I mean, you have such a cool room. I love those ceilings and stuff like that. You could make this like the coolest man cave ever, and instead, you didn't. So, what do you have to say about it, Kyle?
All right. So, my initial thought was, why are there two lamps? I saw the two lamps, and I was like, don't you only need one lamp when they're that close to each other? Like, why would you need two of them? So I would do away with one of those, probably the smaller one that looks like you got it. Well, actually, they both look like you got it at IKEA. But I pick one good functional lamp, especially if it's just going to be, sitting in the corner of your room. You only need really one good light source, maybe two good light sources in your room, and neither of those look like they provide adequate light unless you're like reading a book right there. So figure out a solution for that. Find a secret stash for your Kleenex, bro, because everyone that walks into your room just knows that you've been fapping. They know this is a fap cave.
The fappening.
Everyone. Yep, it's the fappening right there. So, be a little bit more discreet, all right? If you have any lady guests coming over, you don't want to gross them out. So, on top of that, chair's a big thing that a lot of people overlook. I think, getting a really nice, comfortable chair really makes you feel like you can stay a while. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's cool if I'm here for 2-3 hours because I'm comfortable and like my back's supported and my ass isn't hurting, turned inside out. So get a nicer chair. That one looks really uncomfortable and stiff. I also see your computer in the bottom left on the floor. No, just no. Don't do it. You have so much desk space.
Right.
Put the system on the desk. Hide the tissues. And put the desktop somewhere where it's like has healthy airflow and isn't like just vacuuming up all the crap and dust that's on your floor. Especially when you have hardwood floor, like carpet at least can kind of sometimes gather, keep the dust in one area, but the slightest gust of wind will kind of kick up all the dust on your hardwood floor and really just ruin your system over time unless you're constantly maintaining it, which is a pain in the ass. Also, again, with the books, stop using books for things other than reading. Yeah. I mean, your MacBook Air should not be on top of a book. And seriously, okay, I get the monitor thing because you want the monitor to be a certain height with your eye level. Yeah. But why do you have it for your MacBook Air? Like, I don't understand.
You can't even type on it.
Reasoning. So you can type on it?
No, I'm saying you couldn't even type on it because you'd be like tilting the device, like
exactly. Yeah, does he have like the nimblest fingers in the West or something? Where he can just, I don't understand. So do away with the book. I also think that you need a pen holder. Those pens that are just hanging off the side of your desk there look kind of questionable. I mean, they have tons of pen holder options. You go to any store these days, there are things that will hold your pens.
You can
I
get a
guarantee
cup.
it.
Like,
You can get a cup.
yeah.
It doesn't even matter. Yeah, exactly. Because obviously you have no drawers in either of your desks. So
Yeah.
but you have a lot of desk space as a trade-off. So get something to contain all of your office type supplies. It looks like you do a lot of like paperwork potentially in here. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
get some tools to facilitate that live on your desk. I mean, I see the printer there, so that's good. Just get some other accessories to help you tidy up the place. On top of that, cable management could be improved on the bottom there, underneath both desks. It's just kind of hanging out. We got the human entrails thing going on again. So fix that up. But like you said, Matt, I think this room has a lot of potential because it's different. It looks really cool. It looks like an older place. I really like the poster that you have up there. It definitely adds some personality, as simple as it is. So you have a lot to work with here. You have a lot of space. It doesn't seem like you're super cramped in here. So I'd really like to really fill it in and kind of refine it a bit in terms of decor and just tidiness and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Additionally, I do like that you have a wireless mouse. I think that's smart for your setup. You have such a big desk and your monitor is a bit further away from you. So having a wireless mouse was a good call, as well as the keyboard. It looks wireless as well. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say.
Yeah, well, let me solve his issue for him. Let me break it down. This is the guide to fixing this setup, right? What you're gonna want to do, since you seem to love IKEA, is you're gonna go there. You're gonna spend $10, just 10 on an IKEA. Yeah, $10 on an IKEA Signum. And actually, you know what? Get two. Just get two. Put it under the middle of your one desk and under where those two. I don't know. I still don't understand why you have two lamps, but put it under there too, and literally just lay all the cables on the IKEA Signum. Boom, cable management solved. Now, taking a look at the desk, I mean, it looks like you're like, I have this printer, I'm just gonna put it there, and it makes no sense at all. You have so much room. You can really have one of the most badass setups ever because you can have like 7 different workstations, honestly. So what I would do is, make one part of the desk for your PC. It looks like you have a Mac Pro, and then he's got like a PC, then he's got which I don't even understand how both of them are hooked up. Are they both to the same display? Like, I don't get it. Or whatever.
I don't think they're on. They don't look connected. I think they might just be old systems that he's got in storage. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also really weird, and you probably shouldn't do that. But I also think that you could get storage for under the desk. Guess what? IKEA sells that too. You buy it, you slide it under, bada bing, bada boom. You have all these different places to store all your random miscellaneous crap, and you're all set. You can
tissues.
Yeah, exactly. You could have one whole drawer dedicated to the fappening. You could do it like that. But seriously, everything is just so out of place. Just think it through. Should you have 2 lamps next to each other? No. So do not put them next to each other. It makes no sense at all. This whole setup is just extremely confusing, and I think that you just need to figure your life out, then figure the setup out, and you'll be on the right track. But with that, let's just move to the next one because I can't waste time.
I can't look at it anymore.
Yeah. So this one makes me happy. All right. So this one's submitted by Sam. Sam, man. He's 17. There we go. He's 17 years old. He's a pretty big fan of the show. I always see him hopping around. And see, this right here makes me happy because when someone says they're a fan of the show and I recognize their name and I see a setup like this, I'm like, oh, they actually watch the show. This is so cool. I don't know people that watch the show. But seriously, taking a look at this, what do you have to say?
I think this is by far one of my favorite setups for today.
Yeah.
The cable management is exquisite. It's very well done. I think the only thing that I would nitpick about the cable management, if I had to, would be to find a way to kind of pull the cable coming out of the headset off to the side somewhere, okay. make it route a little bit so that there's a little bit less distance that it has to go before you can't see it. I just feel like it looks a little bit sloppy going all the way down diagonally for such a long period, but that I'm nitpicking again because other than that, it looks pretty great. He's definitely done a lot of done a fine job of routing it behind the desk so you can't see it. which is difficult because he's got one of those desks that doesn't really have a backing, like a back wall underneath it. So that definitely requires a bit more effort and stuff. So well done on that. I also really do like I really love the desktop. I think it matches his desk perfectly. And I don't know if he intended to do that, but at the same time, it seems like he's very detail oriented. So I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if he did. And having the headphones kind of match the desktop, which match the desk. Just everything goes together really nicely. And that's really nice to see. I love the blue LED inside of the system. I think it's an NZXT 440 or something like that. But it's a really nice system. Also, I like how he kind of has the TV off to the left side where it's not too far away from his monitor. But so if he wants to, hop on PS3 or Xbox, I think he's got his Xbox there, then he can just kind of swivel in his chair and all of a sudden he's got another monitor dedicated for Xbox. And I also like how he's got the Yeti there, so he can kind of use it for either platform, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of right in the middle there, which I thought was a nice choice. All in all, I mean, it looks like he even vacuums his room, which is astounding. Yeah, you get a clap.
Clap it up, yeah.
Clap for that.
It's amazing.
I don't even vacuum my room all the time, so I think that's really nice. I'm digging the one monitor setup. I think he's got it going on there.
Solid.
It's solid, like I don't have any problems with the single monitor. If you're not doing like some crazy editing like I do frequently, and you're just there to play some games, and triple monitor setup's not practical, or you don't have room for it, or you just hate it like I do, then I think it's great. So I think he's really done a lot with the little amount of space that he has here. I mean, because that's a small desk. I would say that's a pretty small little IKEA desk, but it just seems very comfortable at the same time. And I can't really see all of his chair, but it looks like it's about the appropriate size for a desk that size. Yeah. And I also see that he's got a little vaporizer pen on his desk as well.
Badass.
Which I fully support. I'm a firm believer, like I said, of only putting the things that you're using frequently on your desk. And I have mine on my desk as we speak right now because I use it all the time. So boom. Right on, brother. I think this is a really nice setup overall, and I like the chick in the bikini on your wall. I wanna ask her out.
Yeah, I have to say, like, for once, not even focusing on the desk, I really like this setup. I like the storage to the left. It's very clean. It's weird that you have vitamin water. I don't know what's up with that. I mean, I would think that would go elsewhere, but if that's what
you're like, are we in a lobby or something?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I do like that's a nice way to store boxes. You want to keep them cool, at least make it look nice. I love the tiger and the, I don't know what kind of statue that is. Yeah, I was gonna say, but I don't want to offend people because apparently I'm stupid when it comes to things not related to setup. So I mean, as a whole, like the desk, the furniture, everything on top looks great. If you really want to take it above and beyond and you want your chicks to really look nice on the wall, frame them, make it look even better. I don't know, without frames, it just looks kind of like kiddish where you just kind of tape it to the wall. So I would like to see that framed. I love the whiteboard, the colorful markers. It just looks so neat. Like everything about it is just neat. And honestly, I may not be the biggest fan of Yetis, but the blackout just goes so well with this setup. It looks so good. And it just works for your setup, especially with one display, having it right there. It's going to work. I'm not going to nitpick it. If that's what you're into, that's what you're into. I would like to see behind that one TV, just, pull on the cables a little more, wrap some Velcro around it. It kind of looks like it's like spewing out. Just keep it one nice strand. But really, I mean, this whole thing, it's vacuumed, it's clean. It just makes sense. And that is a first. It looks good,
Part of me wonders, like, did he just like make it immaculate just for this picture to send you, and then like by now it's just a complete disaster, like it's just cable explosion, like he actually just unplugged almost everything, like I don't know, but honestly, if you can maintain it this way and keep it looking this good all the time, like, good for you.
Yeah,
I think that is very difficult to do, and I agree with you. Like, I think that was one of the flaws, one of the only flaws in Cameron's system was that he had this really nice black and red theme going on, but his Yeti was like chrome colored.
Yeah.
And I think this Yeti would have done so much better for him to have it on his desk, than the chrome. So I think that this guy Sam really got that correct. He got that right, I should say.
So there you go. Now man. All right. This is the last setup. This is, yeah. Okay.
Let me sit down for this. Oh, wait, I already am.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I could sit down twice.
So let me read this. And I feel terrible because he wrote like the longest thing I've ever read in my life. I'm pretty sure I read a novel just learning about him. So if you guys want to see this email, I'll show you guys eventually. But this thing, I mean, there's just so much going on. I guess I'll just mention the elephant in the room, or in this case, the giraffe. Yeah, I mean,
we at the San Diego Zoo.
It's. Wow. I mean, let me see if I can actually. I'm looking at his. Oh, a baby giraffe. Okay, that's what. It's not a giraffe. It's a baby giraffe. Just so you know.
Like that makes it okay.
Yeah. Well, hey, man.
Come on.
That's. I don't know.
and just putting him into slave labor as your headphone holder is no better, sir.
I mean, yeah. I don't even know where to begin with this, but I guess I'll just dive in. This setup is one of the most confusing setups I've ever laid eyes on. I mean, so much coolness and then so much that makes me wonder if you're okay. I mean, the case looks really unique. I'll give you points for that. I've never seen something like that. You know, you got the white Xbox One, the white PS4. Boom, kudos. You know, maybe not the best spot considering your feet go there and you're just smashing them with your feet. But hey, yeah, you do you. Does that say Satan is waiting?
It does.
Okay, just double check it. I mean, it does not surprise me. But hey, you got that going on as well. So
I hope Eddie here isn't like 12 years old.
Oh, actually, let's see. How old is Eddie? And I feel bad because Eddie's birthday is coming up, or already passed. Happy birthday, Eddie. Let's see, Eddie. What is your age? I don't think Eddie wanted to provide his age, but I'm gonna make
your birthday, Eddie. Satan's waiting.
You're almost there, man. But I mean, this setup is just something else. I mean, I would really enjoy it if the cables coming out of the secondary display were managed. You know, that pink arcade thing really confuses me. No idea what that is. But damn, I mean, it looks like he has a lot of room, but he, for some reason, went for the smallest possible desk and put everything he owns in that corner. So, I mean, looking at this, what are your pet peeves?
Definitely the size of the desk. I feel like, okay, size of the desk for sure. He's definitely got room on both sides. Like on both walls, he has room to expand his desk. Maybe just get a bigger one overall to accommodate more room, to accommodate his system and both of his consoles. He's got a lot of hardware here, right? I mean, he's got his mid-tower system that looks like both consoles, headset, controllers, and he's got this arcade thing that you pointed out. He's got a lot of shit, but very little space to accommodate it all. So I think having a bigger desk would really make things a little less cluttered. It feels very cluttered.
Yeah.
Additionally, I think that the monitor up top. I mean, I'm a huge fan of wall mounting, but that just it seems a little high to me. And maybe he's got an adjustable arm there, so he could bring it down, and that's fine. But like you said, the cabling is really throwing me off because I like how it looks. I like how the monitor looks up there, but then the cabling just ruins it for me. So I would like to actually see maybe if you could take the cabling and almost kind of zip tie it really snugly to the lamp that he has there all the way down, so that you don't really notice it as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that would be a good solution because it just doesn't look very neat, kind of just jumping over to hide behind his little arcade thing. Also, I mean, let's address the giraffe in the room. I don't know if there's something sentimental going on there, or if you just like to have overly sized headphone holders. But I think it's creepy that he's there with you,
watching the display.
Watching the display clearly. I mean, I'm here for you, man. If you want to talk, don't talk to the fucking giraffe. I'm right here. I'm a real person, and I'd feel much more comfortable you talking to me than this giraffe here. Even if he does have style, with the beads that he's wearing, the stylish giraffe is still a giraffe at the end of the day. Find a place for your shoes. They look really bad right there by your lamp. It feels like there's an invisible person who's naked with just shoes on, just standing in the corner, like Slender Man or something. And then also, I don't know if you sit on that pillow that's on your chair, but the chair looks pretty poofy and cushiony enough. I don't think you really need that pillow there,
Yeah.
unless I don't know what kind of I don't know how hard you're fapping, man, but whatever gets you through it, I suppose. Not my cup of tea though. I think the other pet peeve of mine is the foot space or lack thereof,
Yeah.
that's being blocked by the consoles and the desktop there. And I think that's why, like, most importantly, get a bigger desk, and that way you have more room for your feet and you're not constantly kicking into your hardware down there. And that'll also open up some airflow for your system, for your PC especially. I think having a bigger desk would allow you to put that desktop on top of the desk instead of beneath it. Even though it's not on the floor, it's still not the most ideal.
Yeah.
And having it on the desk is really, really a smart move. So get a bigger desk. And lastly, the last thing I want to address is the bottle of Purell on his desk, which is just a bit disconcerting to me. And you could look at it two ways, right? You could walk into this guy's room for the first time and go, "Oh, he's got a bottle of Purell right there. Like, what a clean guy. Like, he's always, sanitizing and stuff." At the same time, you could walk into this guy's room and go, "Why does he need that much hand sanitizer all the time? What is he doing in here? And what is Satan waiting for?" There's just so many questions.
Sentence, yeah.
Like you said, Matt, there's just so much confusion here that just kind of boggles me.
Yeah.
And I guess on a final note, I'll say that I'm not a fan of having the monitor being elevated, like his main display elevated a couple inches above where his keyboard and mouse are. I actually find it much more comfortable to be completely eye level with my monitor, and my neck gets really strained, even if I have to look up just a couple degrees at my display. And sometimes it's even a bit more comfortable looking just slightly down. Like if I was looking down like 4 or 5 degrees, at my monitor, I find that a lot more comfortable than looking even slightly up at it. So maybe, plan that out with the next desk you get, get something a little bit more level for your eyesight. Obviously, maybe that's what the pillow on the chair is for, to elevate him so that he, can be eye level with this display. So that's also something to consider. But overall, very confusing and puzzling setup here.
Well, apparently he's in the chat right now. He's 20 years old. And you know what? Based off that, man, if you don't have the money for a different desk, just do this. All right. This is cheap. This is really, really cheap. Go to IKEA, buy a tabletop, and buy the $3 legs. You only need 4. Bada bing, bada boom. Put it in the corner, and there you go. That's literally all you need. And then you can even salvage that desk, take pieces of it, and attach it to the new desk. I mean, you just need a new desk. It will change your setup altogether. Literally all you need. I mean, as someone said, Jeff from Toys R Us, the giraffe. I mean, that's interesting. You could still make it work. I mean, if that's really something you need to have in your setup, we're not going to make fun of it. It's not a big deal. We're just kidding around when we say that, but still, maybe it does, like you said, maybe it does have sentimental value. I don't know. Hopefully. Otherwise it is really, really just...
Well, let's be honest, Matt. No one needs that.
I don't know, man. He's got Purell right there. You don't know what he needs. But, I mean, the whole setup is just confusing. But I really have to give you props. You have like every color known to man in this setup, whether it's your shoes, your case, whatever, you have it. I like the posters on the wall. Obviously you're very artsy with the, it just, the beautiful's crossed out and it's got so much meaning behind it. I'm sure you're an artist of some sort. So I think it's cool. I like the setup. I just think if you had a different desk, you would change your whole setup. Like, well, obviously, you would change it. There would be a new desk, but
your life would change.
Yeah, your life would change. No longer would you have a giraffe watching porn with you. You would be watching it by yourself. And at the end of the day, that's really what matters. But so many unanswered questions. I'm sure if I read through his thing again, I would understand. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I like the wall color.
Yeah, I think the wall color is cool. It's pretty neutral.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things that could match with it. I think the Broken Beautiful picture matches the wall color perfectly. It complements it nicely.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like an overall calming color. It's a good background color. It's without being too over the top.
Yeah. So there you go. Hey, Eddie, good job. But we would like to see some things change. But now is the part of the show where I go over the scores. I almost forgot to do it, but I will do it this time. So here we go. We're going to hurt people's feelings, but the first setup submitted by Martian, whatever his name is, 35, followed by Besher with the 55, Cameron with an 82 as the setup's taking forever. There we go. 82, and then we got Hamad with the 38, followed by Sharan with a 26, Peter with a 41, Sam with an 87, and Eddie with a 51, which means our winners are, of course, Sam and Cameron. I think that was a dead giveaway this episode, but
yep.
But yeah, that was a nice variety, to say the least, of different setups. So yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, hey, Kyle, thanks so much for coming on, even though you were
insanely
insanely late. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no. You ruined my chance for a second guest appearance.
Yeah, it's all right. You didn't have one anyway, so no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, thanks, bro.
But seriously, thanks for coming on, and I hope everyone enjoyed. If you got this far into the episode, go ahead and actually say a random word, Kyle.
Pleb.
Okay. Pleb Flamingo. Write down in the comment section down below if you got this far into the episode. And one last thing I'm going to say to you, what's your biggest fear? Like what scares you? Spiders, snakes? What is it?
My biggest fear.
I just ask all the co-hosts. Yeah, you know.
I really do hate spiders a lot.
Yeah.
And it's really one of those things that it's like the only thing I wish I wasn't afraid of, because my fiance is the only one more terrified of them than I am.
Oh.
So anytime we'll be sitting there watching a movie, cuddling on the couch, and all of a sudden she'll be like, ah! Like it's like fucking King Kong or something. And then instead of being like, I'm here, don't worry, I'll be like, ah! It's just really demasculating, and it's just not good for my persona, for my reputation. But
yeah.
I'd say that's a big physical fear that comes to mind is I fucking hate the shit out of spiders.
Good, because I want everyone to go ahead and tweet pictures of spiders to Kyle on Twitter. And yeah, I got you. So there you go, guys. I know I've done it to everyone, so it's all right. And people still get pictures, so expect pictures for the next year or two. It's gonna happen. But yeah, so there you go, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the flippity flop.
Guys.
Thanks for watching this episode of Pimp My Setup. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe. Follow at Pimp My Setup on Twitter for the latest info about the show. And check out swashin.tv/schedule to know when we'll be live again. Stay up to date with Matt Philly by following him on Twitter at Matt Philly. And until next time, we'll catch you on the flippity flop.